Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a good Friday. Hope you got some good plans for the weekend. Do us a favour, hit the like button. And if you are new around these parts, then hit subscribe as well. We're covering all sorts of Manchester United news as well as everything else and different weirdo vlogs and all that sort of shit. And if you're into that sort of stuff, then you're welcome up in here. Right. Let's talk about Raphael Varane. And where did it all go wrong? Because honestly, it seemed like it was absolutely flying at one point. Now, the latest reports that are coming out are suggesting that the relationship with Ten Hag and Varane is broken. And I know that some people immediately are going to jump to the conclusion that, he fell out with Ronaldo, he's fell out with Maguire, he's fell out with this guy, he's fell out with that guy, fell out with Sancho. Like, there's going to be all sorts of people jump to all those different sorts of conclusions and going to come up with 1 + 1 equals fucking 244, right? I know it. I know that people are going to do that and not take each individual one on its merit. Guess what? Sir Alex Ferguson fell out with a lot of people when they wouldn't do what was required of them as well. You need that as a gaffer, and you need the ability to be able to do that as a gaffer, and you need the backing of the club to do that as a gaffer. Supposedly there was a frank exchange after Varane was dropped for the Manchester derby last month, and Varane is unhappy that Johnny Evans was chosen ahead of him. United supposedly have discussed replacements and moving for Nice's Jean-Claire Todibo, which could involve a conflict of interest due to Sir Jim Ratcliffe's ownership of the French side. Raphael and his advisors apparently been left stunned at the impending exit from United. Supposedly he's settled in Manchester, loves the club and the fans, and actually thought he was going to retire at United, which I'm surprised at, but it is actually quite nice to hear. And according to Gary Stonehouse, it says it's clear the manager has seen something he doesn't like in recent weeks. Raphael has vowed to remain focused for the rest of the season, despite this uncertainty surrounding his future. And supposedly an insider has said Varane is a professional who will train and work hard even if he's not playing. Everybody in and around United supposedly surprised that a player of his quality has fallen down the pecking order so fast. And Varane hasn't has to lead the club. And it's not his desire to move on, which kind of rubbishes some of those reports that we looked at yesterday, sort of suggesting that he might be off to Saudi. And we ended up talking about all sorts yesterday and not really fully getting into what's going on here with these links. I think we sort of just got preoccupied talking about, how some players struggle to earn after they retire, and actually chasing the cash isn't the worst thing in the world for players in their short career. And we didn't really get into whether or not this was feasible for the likes of Varane or Casemiro to be going to Saudi Arabia, because I think it's just almost a given at the moment that you're going to see a lot of players migrate over to play in the Saudi league. I just think it's an inevitability. Now, it made sense, unfortunately, and that's why it's not necessarily a sexy rumour, but it's a rumour a lot of people will glance at and go, well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. So just because it makes sense doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% going to happen. There's obviously a lot more factors into that, including whether or not Varane is actually settled in Manchester, which it sounds like he is, which, again, nice to hear. Varane's advisors are supposedly wondering if his wages are an issue at the club, and the club wanted to offload with the new investors coming on board. At the start of the season, supposedly it was made clear to him that he was going to be a key part of the team, vital player for the club and the manager moving forward, and Varane was very happy with that. And so he should be, because I thought the partnership that he struck up with Martinez was truly good. I thought Martinez and Varane was a partnership that I could put my hat on and know what they would be about. He is now the 4th choice centre-half. And he faces looking for a new club in the summer. Bayern had been linked with Varane, but the feedback from Bayern Munich is that Varane isn't a serious option for the club. And I know Bayern Munich are looking at centre-halves, because I've spoke to someone who's a centre-half that has been linked with a move, and actually spoken to Thomas Tuchel actually as well. So I know that Bayern Munich are looking for a centre-half. It's what the profile of that centre-half is, and where they fit into the pecking order. Bayern Munich already having some pretty decent centre-halves on the books. Supposedly, the unity amongst the United squad that was so strong last season has been lacking, not helped by the fact that some players are a little bit split over what's going on with Jadon Sancho. Definitely symptomatic of a division in the camp, though, and there are players who are welcoming Ten Hag's discipline and players who aren't. Privately, supposedly, some of the coaching staff have discussed adopting a softer approach, getting all the players on side with this crucial run of games. I'm just going to pull up this run of games that United are about to jump on, because this Everton game might be the easiest on paper of the next few weeks for us, and it's not an easy game. The circumstances around going to Goodison Park, which isn't the easiest of spots to go to anyway, but the circumstances surrounding what's going on with Everton, it's problematic for us. So obviously we've got Everton, then you've got Galatasaray away, tough. Then you've got Newcastle away. And then our first home game is Chelsea. Then it's Bournemouth, which is a tough one, I think. Then it's Bayern Munich, and then Liverpool, then West Ham, then Villa. Literally, outside of Bournemouth and this Everton game, you're looking at games where you might not even get a result there. So I understand some of the coaches saying maybe we can look around for something here. But yeah, this is problematic, I think. Get involved in the comments. Mahesh says Varane has to leave, 350 grand a week being wasted on him, unreliable. Jamie says people fall out in life doesn't mean we should get rid. He's not playing well. Players like Rashford got away with it, yet Varane being punished. Daniel says no let up in discipline at all. Disco Stew says afternoon Steve. Afternoon. Daniel says this midweek physical training needs to stop. I don't necessarily agree with that. To be honest with you. Spliff says someone tell Budden of Blackpool he'll be waiting a long time. Don't know what that means. Salford 6 says nothing but drama. Ronnie, Greenwood, Anthony Sancho, now Raphael. What's going on? Paul Luke says I just want to see us play good football. Mate, I'm with you on that one. That is the biggest one, the be all and end all, isn't it? I just want to see United play good football. I've seen Agbanlahor talking about Vidic. Yeah. Anyway. On one hand, I'm not exactly devastated at Varane going, and that's only because of his injury record. Players with bad injury records generally don't turn them around. The only time I ever saw it, and it was only temporary, was Robin van Persie for one season. And it was the season we won the league. So, Mazak says, Ten Hag in a press conference that it's just rumours about Varane. Right. I'm going to be honest with you, though. You can't believe everything you read. And you certainly can't listen to anything a manager says in a press conference. He's not going to come out and pour petrol on that rumour, is he? Think about it. He's going to say, there's now to it, even if there is. So, no, come on. You can't just say that. The Life of Riley says, yeah, good football would be nice. It's been a while. Raymundo says, not fussed with him leaving. Once a player is shown to be injury prone, they should be moved on. Never understood why Shaw's still here. Best ability is availability. I do agree with that. Daniel Berry says Varane to Bayern would be interesting. I don't think that's going to happen. Marty says, I've heard managers say they want players to be disappointed when they're not chosen. Happens all the time. I want a manager that can have spats with players and get past it, not cut them off all the time. Yeah, I agree. And it happens. It happens all the time. And quite famously, the Manchester United treble winning side, 99, the most famous one's probably the Cole and Sheringham one. But Roy Keane didn't talk to Peter Schmeichel. And Roy Keane didn't talk to Sheringham either. Like, people fall out. It's as long as you can get past it, it's fine. Greg says, we'll free up a large chunk of wage budget when he goes. That's the truth. Scott says the defence at United hasn't been good since Varane arrived at United. But it was good last year when it was him and Martinez. I don't know if you lot can pick this up on the mic, but Janine is squeegeeing my window behind me. We get 1,000 likes, and I'll turn the screen around, and we can watch her squeegeeing. I said 1,000 likes, and we'll just watch you cleaning this window. Stu says wages impact the decision, 100k a week, and I'd be okay with him staying. Ginny just popped her head in. I said we get 1,000 likes, and I'll just turn the camera on you squeegeeing this window.
Maybe.
Dan says, is Højlund out against Everton? I think he's going to be 50-50. Dennis says, with Ronaldo, Varane and Sancho, Tom Heaton was our best signing of the summer 21 window. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, he was. See? Tom Heat won. Paul says, surely we're like nailed on to get to Debo, like literally guaranteed given he's at Nice. I don't think it's guaranteed. I don't think it's guaranteed at all. But yeah, I think United are looking at a centre-half or two. And I think he'll be one of them. And do you know what? I'm not against it because he's a good player. He is a good player. Simple as that. IR says the one window where we signed Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane, increased the wage bill by 1.25 million is looking more interesting by the day. And here's the thing, right? How many of those did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ask for? Because those three players arriving absolutely turboed up the expectation on Ole that summer, and then we failed to deliver. How interesting would it have been to see the players that Ole wanted, which I think was Caicedo, Haaland, and I don't know who else. Sancho might have been a Solskjaer one. I have no input on that. I just know that United as a club had chased Sancho for a while, so it could have been a club signing. I know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had no idea that United agreed a deal for Cristiano Ronaldo. None. Like, no idea. I know that. So he wasn't consulted because the deal happened so fast overnight. It was decided by the board to get it done. And he would have been told quite early in the morning that it was happening. And that would have been that. He didn't go out and request Cristiano Ronaldo. He was just given him. Like I said, Sancho, I don't know. I think that might have been a club signing. Varane, I don't know. Maybe there was an opportunity there and he was like, yeah, do you know what? Quite like Varane. Sound. Marty says, Steve, last year's defence was immense. He needs to go back to that when fit. Totally agree. Joker back says, Caicedo and Højlund now, can you imagine? Yeah, I think Solskjaer could have imagined it as well. Is any DB Cooper? Nice, well played. Says, is there any chance Janine could fix our January transfer window? Yeah, she's finished now, I think. Well, I don't know how many of you realize or know how the office looks. I mean, I'd turn it around, but Deji's just sitting there now. I've got a glass window there and then one coming across here. Oh, she's cleaning the door now. We turn it around. She's panicking. Miles said it then, the transfer with that Cristiano Ronaldo transfer window took us backwards. Matt Wick says Ronaldo messes up, felt like it gets glossed over. How disruptive for Sancho that would have been as well. Paul says we need to get our midfield sorted. It's been so poor going forward and in defence. Right. NC says I agree with you on Varane. Still, I'm worried that the amount of signings we'll need just to make up the numbers next season's 2 centre backs, fact. At least 1 right winger, centre forward, football. Like, just like it never seems like we get closer to, like last season. You're like, all we need is a centre forward. Get us a centre forward and watch. And we went, cool, right? We've got a centre forward. Now what do we need? Everything but a centre forward. Maybe even another centre forward. Oh, fuck me. Jibak with a super chat, thank you. He says, it'll be a shame to see Varane go. Chelsea are getting years out of Thiago Silva. Do you know what I mean? Wish Varane could adapt his game to the league and added a few years. I don't know if it's adapting his game or just adapting his injuries. Peter with a super chat says, Varane's had multiple injuries. He's not good with his feet. I mean, I got to disagree. He is good with his feet. And his form has been a total disaster for a while. I trust Ten Hag. Greetings from Bulgaria. I'm going to disagree with quite a bit of what you said there, because I think Varane has been excellent for us, but it's one of those, isn't it? NT says 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Meme says Varane and Martinez was a partnership I could hang my hat on. Both played at the Massacre at Anfield and the Etihad. Okay, what's your point? It takes more than 2 fucking players to make it work. And actually, didn't Varane go off in that? Did he not? Did they both play 90 minutes in both those games? So I don't think they did. And actually, that Massacre at Anfield, they only had 8 shots. They scored 7 goals from 8 shots. Defending's a team sport, lads. RKUJ says, need to stop being the last big paycheck before retirement. I agree on that. King David says, a manager needs at least 5 years to develop a team. Yeah, and we haven't seen that, have we? That's the one thing we haven't seen with managers post-Sir Alex, is someone actually getting a decent amount of time. Lurchy says, in fairness, Silver is made of steel, Varane's made of paper. There is no prolonging that career. Callum says, until all the players get in City side, tells you how many signings we need, perhaps. It's not a bad shout. Mike says, it all goes wrong for players once they join United these days. That's a fact. The text that you just heard in the background is the final confirmation I needed for tomorrow for our team. United playing on Sunday, but if you're in the area tomorrow, 3:15, Paddock are playing De La Salle. It's a team we haven't beaten for a few times out, and it's about as close to the old firm as you could get in Stretford versus Salford, I would say. And it's an absolute barn burner of a game. And if you're in the area, I would urge you, be free entry, come and watch this game tomorrow, 3:15 kickoff, because it's going to be fucking biblical. And I've got a good side out, and I fancy our chances. We haven't beaten them in the last... We've played them 4 times, beat them in the first time, I haven't beat them in the last 3. And we're beating them tomorrow. So if you want to come and watch that, it will be, I promise you, it will be fucking Old Firm. So come down and watch that if you're in the area. Super chat from Ari says, hi Steve, usually miss the live streams. What's my thought on United being banned from the Champions League because of Ratcliffe owning Nice? That's just completely overblown by everybody. Thanks for the super chat. Completely overblown by everybody because he isn't a majority stakeholder. And why would United get done when the City Football Group literally has got like the likes of Girona? Why Red Bull owns how many different teams? Like, there are rules in place. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Paul Lucas says Varane is a Rolls Royce, but always in the repair shop. Nice, well played. Daniel says, doesn't matter how good Varane, it's just behind the thingy there, is Andrew when he can't play. Brian says, the boss is the boss. Wipe the slate clean if it needs to be. All on board the 10-hour train. Players need to work harder with you. Peter says, Steve, don't you think Lissandro was the one doing most of the getting the ball out to our midfield and forwards? Look at some of his games this season and his pass success percentage. Yes, I absolutely, completely agree. He is our defensive progressor for sure. I think Varane alongside him is fine. But yeah, it's absolutely bang on that. Danny says, we're just witnessing Varane passing his prime after years of being overused. Yeah, maybe. Sam says, hi Steve, why is Amrabat not playing too much? Now, check this out. So, when someone signs for City, very rarely do they go straight into the 11. They go in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And they've got the squad size to be able to do that. When someone signs for United, they have to go straight into the 11. And you don't get a lot of time to coach them into what they need to be doing to deal with it. And that's a problem. And I think Amrabat is one that he's felt like he needed to because he didn't look fit. He didn't have a preseason, and to me, he doesn't look fit. So it's one of those. It's one of those for me. Witterbird says, just delivered my Manscaped for Christmas presents. Well played. Jamie says, United aren't in a position to be getting rid of our best defender. But then if he's not having it, then what are you going to do? Paul says, what happens if Martinez comes back and gets injured again? Real cause for concern. I'm going to pretend I didn't read that because I don't think my brain can fuck with that at the moment. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. Marty says, what I want to see is this season, Shaw, Martinez, Varane and Wan-Bissaka, Mainu, Casemiro, Bruno, Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford. It's not a bad 11, mate. It isn't a bad 11. Mike says, can you go make me a coffee? I just finished work. I don't do that. I'm not doing that. To be fair, I make a brew, to be fair. I do make a brew. I actually have been having a lot more brews. I'm trying to limit the Red Bull, which isn't going too well, but I've been having this Yeti flask has been working. It's got a nice little sticker on the front of it for everybody as well. So, but it's a big, like, litre of tea. Piss for England after you've had it. Peter says, been so keen on Amrabat, he just needs time. If we were to judge him on his current performances, he would be gone straight away. Yeah, I think he just needs a little bit of time and it'll be happy days. Joe says, no chances Glazers lets a Jim if he impacted the Champions League cash cow and that one. DB says, I'm not sure I'm down with Amrabat yet. Not against the guy, just doesn't have much time to earn a contract. Yeah, time is running out on that front. Didn't we have a deal already struck though, so we're buying him next year no matter what. I'm sure that's the case. I could be wrong, like, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. Roy Hodgson says 77 goals in 8 seasons for Rashford. Care to comment on that? Well, yeah, the guy was a winger, and you're also counting his first few seasons on that. What's your point? Ari Gold says, unless your best players bow down to Ten Hag, he gets rid and keeps mediocre players. No, that's not what anyone's saying, is it? At all. John Paul says, what academic player is next after Mainu? I think Shea Lacey's got a chance, and I'm hearing Jack Fletcher could have a chance, but they might be a couple of years away yet because they're both quite small, the pair of them. But it could be either of those two, couldn't it? Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks, as always, to everyone who's tuned in. Preview will be out tomorrow with the game being on Sunday. But like I said, if you're in the area and you want to come down, check my socials out, check the club socials out. This game tomorrow will be an absolute firecracker, I promise you. If not, I'll personally refund everyone the free entry. So cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.